What's up, Wild Frugal Free family? I'm out on my walk today and I wanted to try something new. So I read a book recently called Playing with Fire. Fire being the financial independence, retire early movement. Maybe you've heard of it. And I wanted to do a book review because I got a lot of value out of the book and I think that you might too. So let's get into it. So the book is written by Scott Rickens, and it talks about the experience that he's had with fire from the first time that he heard about the financial independent retire early movement to actually making some pretty big changes in his life and his family's lifestyle in order to pursue fire. So they were living in San Diego, and their life kind of looked like the American dream from the outside, in the fact that they had nice cars, they were living in a nice place, boat club membership, cool jobs that were fulfilling for them. By all intents and purposes, from the outside looking in, a good life, but something was missing. Something just didn't feel right. Outside things weren't bringing the happiness and fulfillment that they thought maybe it would. Scott was in traffic and heard Tim Ferriss introduce the idea of financial independence, and it kind of took hold in his mind. He started bringing it up with his wife, changing some lifestyle factors to bring on the fire movement, start making it part of his routine, and eventually got an idea and changed his life pretty drastically, to the point where they moved from San Diego and they took a year to make a documentary about fire as they were learning about it and making fire-based changes in their own lives, which is a really cool idea. And they made this into a documentary also called Playing with Fire. You should definitely check that out. So what I like about the book, the fact that it's really approachable, regardless of where you're at in your fire journey, whether this is the first time that you're even hearing that this concept or idea or movement exists, or if you're like me and you're kind of on your way to fire. I've been doing it for about 5 years since we heard about the fire concept. This book also has a lot of value for those people that are en route to fire. And I'd imagine, I can't speak for somebody that has already reached financial independence and or decided to retire early themselves, but I'd imagine that reading about how somebody else did it or is doing it is pretty valuable to somebody that, or at least entertaining, to somebody that's reached FI or fire as well. The cool thing about the book is that it's not solely informational, although there is lots of information inside of the book that somebody that is interested in fire would find helpful. And it's also not solely entertainment, although it is entertaining. What I really took away from the book is that no journey to financial independence is the same as another. And that's okay. The way that I do it doesn't necessarily have to be the way that you do it. The way that Scott and Taylor are doing it maybe doesn't align with what somebody else would recommend. Personal finance is personal. The way that we do it is completely up to us. The amount of time that you take to reach financial independence is completely up to you. How much you cut your current spending, completely up to you. You can play with the numbers to build out a life that you're happy with now, while still working toward achieving a life that you're going to be like your dream life later. Start working on it now. Don't wait until you've reached FI. You don't have to sacrifice the things that bring you joy and happiness. And in fact, I would suggest double down on the things that bring you joy and happiness. A lot of times you're going to find that those things don't cost a lot of money. One thing that Scott wrote about that I thought was really cool is he and his wife sat down and they wrote out 10 things that brought them happiness. I think it was 10 things. They each did it separately. And what they found when they shared their lists is that most of the things that brought them happiness didn't have to do with money at all, and in fact could be had for free or very little cost. I find the same to be true in my life. A lot of the things that truly align with my values and make me the happiest don't necessarily cost a lot. For me, it's time with my boys, travel. I try to do that in a way that's cost effective though. To actually enjoy a place as opposed to enjoying the amenities that you can buy in a place. I liked how Scott didn't just paint the picture of the good things about financial independence and the journey that you have to take to start working towards financial independence. There are challenges too. Not everybody in your life is going to understand what you're doing when you shy away from the well-beaten path to one that's maybe a little less traveled, and that's okay. Of course, we want our family and friends to kind of share in the joys and successes of whatever we're passionate about, but not everybody's going to get it. Some of your family and friends are going to be super supportive. We've been lucky in that a lot of the people in our lives are very supportive when we talk about fire, but not everybody understands it. Sometimes they'll just give you the confused look. Wonder why would you not want to work until you're 60? In fact, I'm a lot more interested in the financial independence part of fire. I don't think that I'm going to stop working anytime soon. I just think that I'm going to reach FI to tailor how I work and what I'm doing for work to the lifestyle that I want to live, as opposed to simply taking a job for money. And of course, I try to start doing that now as well. I want to try to build my ideal life as much as I can now, as opposed to looking out and thinking that I have to reach fire before I can be happy. Try to build happiness now. I like that Scott talked about how a marriage can be affected, or how a married person might feel. We don't always align right away when it comes to our ideas about money, and sometimes we're going to be a little bit off to the point where we got to kind of talk it out or find common ground. It's just a reality, not only in pursuing fire, but in anything personal finance or anything that's kind of a hot button emotional issue that deals with values or lifestyle. We're not always going to agree, and that's cool too. If you are a beginner to the fire movement, there's little like grayed out sections in the book that go over some of the really basic concepts, things like the 4% rule, the idea of mutual fund investing. They talk about real estate investing, if I'm not mistaken. The other super cool thing about the financial independence movement that I think Scott Rickens really captures in the book is the community that is behind the movement. During his year filming the documentary, he went and talked to people like Vicki Robbins, who co-authored Your Money or Your Life, and is attributed by some as like the mother of the current fire movement, although she had these ideas well before they were popular or mainstream. Folks like Mr. Money Mustache, who for me personally was a huge influence in my own fire journey, and realizing that life doesn't have to be about spending. And in fact, if you find a way to pursue your values instead of kind of blindly adopting the consumerist viewpoint and habits that we're pre-programmed with these days in society, that you might be quite a bit happier. Who else? Brandon Ganch, mad scientist. Scott befriended Brandon and shares a lot of their conversations in the book that are really cool. He goes down to Ecuador, I believe, to something that they call Chautauqua. Talks to J.L. Collins, author of The Simple Path to Wealth. These really well-known people in the fire community, and has conversations and shares conversations with them. And the cool thing is that you can see throughout the book that these are just normal people. These aren't people with like any special superpowers. Yes, they have some really useful knowledge, and thank goodness that they're out there sharing it with the rest of us so that we can kind of achieve the things that we're looking to when it comes to our money, comes to our financial freedom. But I really like the way that he he shares his conversations and experiences alongside these people that shows you don't have to be something crazy super special to reach FI or to help other people reach FI. I think that's really cool. So yeah, the book is Playing with Fire by Scott Rickens. I would really suggest, if you're interested in financial independence at all, that you go ahead and read the book. If you're local, let me know if you'd like to read the book, and I've got it on my desk. You can borrow my copy. For those of you that don't know me in real life, but you still want to check out the book, I'm going to link below my Amazon affiliate link if you do want to check it out. I'll make a small commission if you decide to pick it up. Do me one favor though. Go to your library first, or see if maybe one of your friends has a copy of the book and get it there. I'd much rather that you do something a little fiscally responsible as opposed to putting a couple cents into my pocket through the affiliate link. But if you are looking to buy the book, I would appreciate if you use the link. I think I'm gonna turn around so I don't go through the construction site. It's gonna be super loud. Yeah, so link below, check out the book. Or I know a lot of people prefer to listen to audiobooks rather than to read a book, maybe so that you declutter your house a little bit. You don't want a bunch of books laying around, or it's just sometimes easier to listen to audiobooks. So I'm also going to drop a link for Audible, a free trial for 30 days. It'll also give you some credits so that you get your first book or two for free. And then if you decide after 30 days to cancel it, you can do that. And of course, you keep the credits or the books that you've redeemed them for. So pretty cool deal through Amazon. Again, that's an affiliate link. So check that out if you want to try out Audible. It's really nice and sunny here in Belgium today, which has not been the case for many days recently. So I'm quite enjoying my walk and talking to you during my walk. Maybe I'll make a habit of this. If it doesn't come out too shaky or, I don't know, too loud, too weird with the audio. I've never really tried to record myself on my phone while I walk before. Maybe it'll be super annoying and make me dizzy and I'll just delete it. We'll see. So yeah, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you get a chance to check out the book. Let me know what you thought of the review, or if you've read the book, tell me what your thoughts were. What did I miss? What was awesome that Scott Rickens put into the book that I didn't mention that people need to know about? Give this video a like if you got some value out of it. If you like talking about financial independence, frugality, intentional money management, or anything personal finance really, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I put up new videos every single week on those topics, and I'd love to have you along for the ride as my family pursues financial independence, share some of the stuff that we're learning along the way, and hopefully motivates you to win with some of your own money as well. All right, I got to get this walk finished. YouTube will automatically share a couple more of my videos, so if you want to watch more, go ahead and do that. But for now, I got to get going. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, don't forget to put your money where your values are. Bye.